Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that was requested by a few different people, and basically it's just me talking about what they did during my genetic appointment to figure out what type of EDS I had. So let's get started with the video.
Said I know you walk to the beat of your own drum, just to help overcome.
Okay, so for my genetic appointment I had to wait about 3 to 4 months, I think. Yeah, it was about 3 to 4 months to get into it. I had to go 2 hours from where I live to a children's hospital because I live in a small town, so I don't have any children's hospitals here, so I have to go out of town for all of that stuff. So I think my appointment was for 10 in the morning, and I didn't get out of my appointment until almost 3:30. So it was a good long appointment. So basically what they did was they did the test on my joints and stuff to see how hypermobile I was, all that fun stuff. I also had an injury on my knee at that time, and I was in an immobilizer and I wasn't allowed to move my knee, so obviously they couldn't test my right knee at the time, but they had already done the test once before up at this hospital, so they already had the record, so they just went with that, which obviously my knee hyperextends. Also, another problem that I had is that I can't lock my knees, or my knees automatically dislocate by how bad my knees hyperextend. So I could only hyperextend them to 10 degrees exactly to get my points without my knees dislocating, because they don't want you to hurt yourself during the appointment. So I did my hyperextension to 10 degrees exactly and stopped myself. I've had my knees measured once before, and my left knee hyperextends to 15 when I lock my knee, and my right knee hyperextends to 16. So it's there, but every time I lock my knees now, they dislocate, so I told them they didn't make me go any farther. They just let me go to the 10 and let me stop. After they did that, we went over family history. They already knew how many siblings I had, how many aunts and uncles I had. They had looked into some of my family history before my appointment, and we had to go over every disorder that everybody had. All my cousins, I had to go through them. That took like an hour or two, and then they brought in another person. They ran the joint test again to see how much I hyperextend. They checked my heart. They listened to it and stuff, and recommended that I go get a EKG done on my heart, which I've already had done once, and they always come back basically normal. So they recommended that, but we told them we already had it done. They looked and saw it in my chart, so they looked at it, and then they looked at the way I was setting, and decided that they were going to see if I had scoliosis. And so they made me stand up, and they had me bend down to touch my toes, and they were feeling my back to see if they were even. My right side is up higher than my left. You can probably see it with me sitting here because I need adjusted really bad. But anyway, they did that. They diagnosed me with a mild case of scoliosis then, but it is getting worse now. I just can't go to a chiropractor because it's not recommended with EDS. So my physical therapist have been putting me back into alignment. Sorry that the lighting is getting weird. I have to use natural lighting, and it's getting ready to storm where I live, and so we have like a moment where it gets dark and then it gets really light, and also my camera's just not working with me. Okay, that's a little better. So with me, they did decide not to run any farther tests. They were diagnosing me with hypermobility because of the family history and everything. They don't think that I have any other type. They were going to test me for classical until they saw my scars, how they are, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but let me go like this. How they're like, oh, lighting. Okay, there we go. How it is. All my scars do that. This one is starting to, this one was just done, like, I just had the surgery like 10 weeks ago. So, that one's not as bad yet. And my skin is a little stretchy, not too much. It's not really my face skin that's stretchy, it's like my hands and stuff like that. So, which is normal with hypermobility EDS. Then they went through a whole thing with teaching me how to properly put my joints back in place because they knew that I had a lot of dislocations. They gave me some links to some YouTube videos to re-educate me if I needed help with something as I was putting something back in place. And then they looked at all my x-rays and stuff of my dislocations to like get proof that I've dislocated and everything. They had to look at all my surgery history and they had to educate me on surgery with EDS and like what I can and cannot do. They educated me on things that are bad with EDS, things that can happen to me. They told my mom things that we needed to do, doctors we needed to see, and gave me the rundown. With me, they want me to use a wheelchair whenever I'm going on long distance walks. I held it off for about 6 months after the appointment, but once I injured my knee, I had to go get a wheelchair, so now if I go on long walks, I go ahead and use it. They told me things, they basically scared me to death too at one point in the doctor's appointment, telling me the things that can happen to me. I don't know if every place does that, but yeah. They did kind of scare me. They were sitting there telling me that, like, I could push a rib into my heart and die. I could push a rib into my lung and die. That I have a more chance of getting a brain aneurysm. That if I'm punched in the chest the right way, it can push a rib into my heart and kill me within, like, 30 seconds. So they, like, did scare me. But I guess that's kind of their job. They have to inform you. They gave me this huge paper. I don't know if I can find it. But they gave me a huge paper explaining my diagnosis and stuff. And it's, I had to turn it into my school, my gym teacher, because I was taking gym at the moment, and it basically wrote me off of gym for the rest of the time I'm in high school, which I don't have to take another gym class anyway. I'm not required to, but in the 9th grade, you are required to take a gym class, which thankfully it was only for a semester for me. But I wasn't allowed to do anything besides strengthening exercises, which they basically only play games where you're running, and I'm not allowed to run, and stretch, and they don't recommend me doing a bunch of stretches because obviously we don't need any more flexible than we already are. So that's basically all that happened. It's not too bad. I'm not for sure. They talked about taking blood and stuff, but that was going to be a whole different doctor's appointment. Then they decided not to do that. They also talked about running blood tests to see if we could find any genetic heart conditions that I have, but we never scheduled an appointment for that because that's just, we're really not concerned about that because I have to see a cardiologist anyway, which I'm going to get that appointment this summer because I have tachycardia and stuff. So yeah, it's not that bad. It is a very long appointment. Like I said, my appointment was for 10 o'clock and we didn't get out until almost 3:30. So that's pretty decent amount of time. So, yeah, that's basically it. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys and got you guys to figure out what you needed. If I were you, something I did was I wrote down all my symptoms in a notebook If something new happened before my appointment, I wrote that down. And that way, whenever I went into the appointment, I knew what all I needed to talk about. Because sometimes when you have so many symptoms, you kind of forget one or two symptoms to tell them, and then that can change their whole perspective on needing to get a genetic test ran or just diagnosing you with the hypermobility EDS. So that's another thing that you need to try to do. You also need to try to get your family history down pat before you go up, because they're going to ask you about everything. They're going to ask you about your cousins. They're going to ask you about all your aunts. They're going to ask you about your dad's side. They're going to ask you about your mom's side. And with me, I don't know a lot on my dad's side because I don't have the best relationship with my dad. It's not a secret. And that side of the family, I mean, I'm close to some of them, but not all of them. So that side of the family was kind of harder for us to answer questions on. But they did kind of determine that the genetic condition is coming from my mom's side of the family with all the problems and stuff that side of the family has. It all leads back to EDS. And my dad's side of the family, what we could answer, nothing really led to EDS besides one of my cousins has some muscular problems on that side as a baby and everything, and has some eye problems. But other than that, nothing else would really lead to EDS. Thank you all for watching. If I have comments on this video, please comment down below if you've already had your testing done, what they did for you, to help out some people that are getting ready for their appointment know what to do. If you have any other things that helped you out for your appointment, please comment that down below if my comments are on. If not, my Instagram is going to be linked in the description. There will be a picture on there for you to comment on. Please go there. I won't figure out if my comments are disabled until I post this video. So that's why I'm giving you both options on what to do. If you have any video recommendations, please either comment down below or message me on Instagram. If you need to talk about anything, message me on Instagram. I'm always willing to talk to anybody and help you the best I can. So anyway, this video has been forever long of me just ranting and going on and on and on. So I'm going to end it here. Please like, comment down below if you can, and subscribe. Bye.